Hello and welcome back to our news show. You are currently watching our signature segment, See the Stories. Rory, as we know, we live in like an era of social media proliferation. And I don't know about you, but I get a lot of like educational content on, Instagram, on YouTube. Of, admittedly, some of the weirdest things, but they are educational nonetheless. Have you kind of had that experience yourself?
I actually had once, yeah. So I follow a lot of, content sharing about educational, contents.
Right.
But particularly, yes, about the Papuan children, that's what I saw as well.
Yeah.
They were conversing in English, and it was quite, surprising to see them, like how fluently they speak in English, which is quite surprising to me.
Yeah.
So this is actually what we're about to discuss, right?
Yes, exactly. It is exactly what we're discussing.
Okay, so the conversation happened between a guest, it's supposed to be a guest of a hotel and a receptionist, and interestingly, they spoke in English. So let's take a look at the video.
Good afternoon, welcome to Ocean View Hotel. How can I help you?
Good afternoon, I have a reservation.
Sure, may I have your name please?
Yes, my name is Indwarapan.
Thank you, Miss Warapan. Let me check.
Okay.
Yes, I see your reservation for 3 nights. You booked a deluxe room, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Great. May I see your passport or ID please?
Sure. Here you go.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, how would you like to pay? Cash or card?
I will pay by credit card.
Your payment is successful. Here is your credit card. And here is your key card. And your room is on 3rd floor, number 305.
Thank you. By the way, what time is breakfast?
The breakfast starts from 7 o'clock to 10 a.m. on the 1st floor.
Thank you for your information.
Thank you. See you.
See you.
Oh, sorry. Do you need help?
Yes.
Oh, you can go with Lohini.
Excuse me. Hello. You can follow me. Okay.
Just so cute, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they speak English very fluently at a time when, some of our society members think that speaking English is not a basic, daily need, right? A lot of, youth in Indonesia think that speaking English is a, privilege or just being pompous or intimidating.
No.
But it's actually a basic life skill that we have to master.
100%.
Right? For, a globalized world like what we see today,
Yeah.
we need the English.
Yeah, many people around the world, a significant portion of people around the world have English as either their first or second language. So it's become kind of like a default, a default language for to do business between countries. So it's extremely important.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I saw, most of the comments are very positive, right?
Yeah.
But I saw still negative comments. But if you are, learning English from scratch like myself that I did like, years ago,
Yeah.
just go for it.
Yeah, keep at it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
keep doing
yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
No matter what people say about your ability and what about us, but English is, one of the most basic skills that we need.
Extremely.
Anyway, talking about those kids in Papua, now we are connecting with the English teacher responsible for teaching the children in the video we just watched, Miss Yenny Warisa Sinaga. Thank you for making time for us. Miss Yenny, how are you doing?
I'm okay. Thank you for inviting me. How are you guys doing?
We are very fine, thank you. So which part of Papua are you in right now?
I'm currently in the city of Raja Ampat. It is called Waisai.
Waisai.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right, so let us, start our conversation though. Your video, which shows Papuan children learning English through practical activities, resonated deeply with many after it went viral on social media, right? So could you describe your philosophy behind your learning by doing approach and why you believe it's particularly effective in this context?
Well, in my own experience in learning English, I found that sometimes learning English is quite hard. It's quite stressful, especially as we know that there are so many words to memorize, so many grammars to follow.
Yeah.
So I believe that what we learn should make the student feeling it's not that difficult.
Yeah.
And it is actually important and useful in life. So my philosophy is to engage the students in learning activities and make them feeling proud and confident because as what you said before that so many people say that, oh, your English is not so good.
Yeah.
Don't be too proud of your English, but I said we're learning, we're doing well. It's not our language.
Yeah.
So just try your best.
100%. It's about building the confidence in the students, right? It's like you build the confidence so that eventually they get used to speaking in English, and then eventually they'll become they'll learn more and more because
Exactly.
kids are just sponges, aren't they?
And
They learn everything.
native speakers won't just correct your grammatical error all the time, right? It's Indonesians that do it.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
sometimes we don't have to worry about it.
Now, I'm curious. Obviously, many teachers struggle to engage with students, particularly with language learning. So, what kind of challenges did you face when you first started teaching in Papua, and how did you kind of adapt your methods to overcome them?
I would say that telling the students that English is important, it's not really difficult in my context because we are the tourism area. They know that they need English.
Right.
However, the biggest challenge that I found is that very poor education quality. So like a third of my students, they've never been learning English before, while the others, the rest of the students, they got the good education. So it is very difficult to be in a classroom with very big gap of their English knowledge. It's the biggest challenge. Yeah.
Right. So, Yenny, your content were viral and bring significant attention to your work, right? How has this sudden recognition, how has this sudden virality impacted your teaching and maybe the enthusiasm of Papuan children to learn more about English?
Yeah, so many people proud of what we are doing in the classroom. So we are very proud of what we are doing. You know what? We are celebrating our videos. So the impact was very positive for my students and for myself. We increased our confidence. And then so many people around us also, giving us positive comments. So
Yeah.
I think it's a really good impact for us.
I'm a little bit curious. I hope you don't mind if we backtrack a little bit. You were speaking about how some students had a kind of greater understanding of English before, while others were completely starting from scratch. Which of those two groups do you find more, let's say, quicker to learn? Would you say, or would you say they kind of have learned well in their own ways as well?
I would say that the both of these groups, they all learn really well and fast.
Okay.
The problem is how will I, as the teacher, will support them, like because they know different things. They would like to know different things. So what I did in the classroom is I divided the classroom into two classes.
Okay.
So I provide the materials for the advanced students, and I provide the different materials for the students that not really good yet in English.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the teacher should be able to balance them. Yeah.
So, Yenny, maybe this could be an advice for other English teachers in Indonesia, because a couple of weeks ago I talked with a educational activist saying that most of English teachers in Indonesia, they don't actually can speak English,
Right,
or they
yeah.
don't actually can master the language itself, right? And here we are with Yenny, working in Papua in remote area, and then inspire many teachers around Indonesia and inspire many students around Indonesia to learn English even more. So do you have any suggestion? Do you have any advice for teachers across Indonesia? What is the best recipes? What is the best formula to teach English that is not only beneficial for the students, but actually for the teachers themselves in honing their teaching skills?
Yeah. Speaking is the most undercared skill from all of English skills, like reading, listening. So I would say that the teacher should equip themselves. Nowadays, we have technology. So I actually plan to have like Zoom meetings for all my fellow English teachers. So we have partnered to exercise our English.
Okay.
But then it's quite difficult as we are going our ways. We were very busy. So I don't know if I can say this here, but ChatGPT is really, really helpful. And I'm going to
Definitely you
share
can.
this
Yeah.
in my Instagram.
Definitely you can. So you formulate your English teaching materials using ChatGPT as well.
Yes, of course. It's a really great tool.
That's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
I think a bit of an anecdote here as well. I used to live in the States, and I also kind of did some time, made it like I went to jail. I also studied in the UK, and when I was immersed in those kind of cultures, I was forced to speak English, right? And that was kind of how my English got better. And I think what Yenny said about kind of speaking to them all the time in English and kind of like just getting them used to it, that definitely makes such a massive difference to the way that these kids learn. Don't you agree, Yenny?
Yeah, sure. In my classroom, I speak English and I translate it into Indonesian and English again. So I say every sentence 3 times. It's tiring, but I know my students learn really well. You know, literally every sentence. I'll give you an example. Okay. So we're gonna have a test. Jadi kita akan ada tes.
Okay.
So kita akan ada have a test. Ujian.
Right.
And then so we're gonna have a test 3 times. Yeah. Because modeling is very important. I would say that English is not available for the students in their daily life. So it's the job of an English teacher to bring it to classroom.
100%.
Wow. All right.
I immediately understood why it was effective because she kind of, what you did, Yenny, what I noticed was that you divided them into blocks, right? Kita akan melakukan tes, we are going to do a test. Kita akan melakukan, we're going to do a test. And itu ujian.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That's interesting to
Yeah.
learn with that formula, right?
Yeah.
So we see from the video that gone viral, Yenny, that you focus on practical, real-world English in your videos, right? So can you give us examples of specific activities that you've used that have been particularly successful in helping the children learn? We've seen, hotel receptionist and a guest. What are other settings that you have used before?
Well, we did a lot. So I always focus on English around us. So the first thing is prayers.
Okay.
So because prayers are part of students' daily life, like you pray when you wake up, before you go to sleep, before you start and end a class, and before you eat and when you finish eating. So we start with prayer first. So I give my students time to write the prayer and I will check and they learn how to say it. So the first is the prayer. It's small project, but it really gives them confidence. So after prayers, we also have classroom language. So I'm not teaching them vocabulary, like very difficult ones, but we start with, Miss, may I go to the bathroom? Miss, may I borrow my friend's book? May I blah, 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 open the door? We start with that because it is very easy to control the students. For example, if they start speaking English, they would say, Miss, boleh ke kamar mandi? No, English please. And they will try to say it. Even though in the beginning they were very shy.
Right,
Now
yeah.
we never used Indonesian for that part. Yeah.
It's quite half-enforced English speaking environment, but it's
Yeah.
actually effective because it's daily words that they use, right?
Exactly. It's getting them used to it, right? How do you measure the progress of your kids learning English?
Well, because actually my focus is in language in output.
Okay.
So we have the role play test. The one you watch in the video, it's our test. So we have role play test. We also have grammar test. We also have vocabulary test and reading, but mainly focus on the speaking.
So Yenny, earlier you mentioned that you separate a class into 2 groups, right? But from the video, I learned that you teach junior high school, if I'm not mistaken. So what kind of educational stages or class that you teach apart from junior high school?
Well, I also take part in the vocational school.
Okay.
Because other than junior high school, our school, Child Aid Papua, we also have the ecotourism vocational school.
Right.
Yeah, we have grade 10 and 11 now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you teach at junior high and vocational school. What about elementary school or maybe private courses?
No, we don't have elementary school.
You don't have
Okay.
elementary school. Okay. What about private courses? For example, for a community in in Raja Ampat or in other parts of the area. Do you also cater to that?
I would do that, but for now, I'm really focused on this job.
All right.
Okay, that's interesting. So how would you say you elevate the quality of children's education in Papua, or how should we elevate the quality of education, particularly in languages in Papua, to the same standards as other regions in Indonesia, particularly in English? Or do you perhaps think there's a way that we should kind of revolutionize teaching and teaching languages in our schools?
Yeah, what my school, the foundation that we had to the children of Raja Ampat. So the first thing is 24-hour electricity. So for your information, our village, we only have 12 hours electricity. So the school founder built the solar panel. So we have the 24-hour electricity. It brings a lot of good for our school. For example, we can use the internet, of course, we can use the projector, and yeah, so many things. And the second thing that we did was the students have laptops. Each student get one laptop.
Wow.
Fantastic.
It's really a good one. So we have the storybooks available for the students to read. And in the classroom level, our books, my school is not stingy about buying high quality course books. So I have the access for that. And I think everyone in Raja Ampat, they could increase the quality if they really want to spend on it, invest on it, and monitor it well.
Inspiring. Yenny, thank you so much. Not only thank you for joining us on our show, but thank you for your contribution
Yes.
to Raja Ampat community. So thank you very much for inspiring as well. Stay well, Yenny. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
you.
Bye. So we're going for another quick break for Nabo. It was a very inspiring story, though.
Extremely.
Right? Hopefully, more Yenny are found in Indonesia that help students to learn English, because we're in a globalized world. We need that as a basic life skill, right? So we'll be back after the break with more updates just for you.
Yes, indeed. So keep it right here on the 2 Hour News Show on See Today.